sterling offensive player.
He is.
And I don't know if he got the bat on that, but the ball, I think he may have it. Runs down to fine leg. And tossed back in by Osborne. Yep, no signal, so I guess it was a run. Wayne Hackett, the captain of the Lynn team, has played 7 games so far this year. He's scored a total of 142, a high score of 62, and an average of 20.29. So we'd have to say that he's one of the better batsmen in the league.
Absolutely, I would say certainly he is.
And here's Naveed Ashraf now from Quincy, facing the bowling of English. Oops!
And he's bowled.
Bowled with a full toss, it looked like. Center stump hit. It looked like that one was it was either a Yorker or a full toss.
I think it was a full toss. Yep. I didn't see the ball hit the ground. It hit very low down on the stumps, and it might have moved through in the air somewhat and deceived him. I can't explain it any other way.
Sometimes those full tosses are the hardest ones to deal with, but that's the 6th North Zone wicket now that has fallen.
Yes, and we see a quick decline here.
He got 28 against North Shore and 29 against Quincy, an aggregate of 163 runs so far. In his display against Commonwealth, he hit 7 fours, and get this, in his 81 not out, he hit 7 fours and 9 sixes, which gives, if my math is correct, gives us a total of, wait a second, can that be correct? 9 sixes.
Oops. And there we see Hackett getting out.
Oh my goodness. Hackett hitting the ball to M.S.C.L, who takes another catch. M.S.C.L appearing to be the fielder of the game. There he is, raising his fist in celebration. M.S.C.L is quite the character, and also, by the way, if we get a chance to watch him bat, he's very exciting batsman to watch. But he takes another catch and descends the ball very hard. Tull, I was looking at that score for Tull. If he hit 7 fours and 9 sixes, that's a total of 82 runs. And he only made 82 not out.
83.
83. So he had 1 single, 7 fours and 9 sixes. I am impressed.
That's what I meant when I said he can hit the ball very, very hard.
My goodness. There's Bab, who wears spectacles, of course. It's possible that he'll, with the hour being as it is, there he is, hitting the ball quite firmly past mid-wicket and down to the deep mid-wicket boundary for batsman cross for a single.
And Bab gets off the mark very quickly.
Yep.
Which is good.
And now we'll see what Tull does. Tull, how many overs have gone by? Oh, 26 overs. No. So this is, I believe, the 27th over?
No, this is 29th over.
29th over, okay. Oh, and there was a tempting one from Hadley. Tull reacted a little slowly to it.
Yes, I think Hadley is trying to get M.S.C.L to take another catch out here. And,
Tull hits it past Cummings at mid-on for a single.
Well, we're going to have to see a bowling change now. English has completed his 8 overs.
Willie Rodriguez, do you have English's 8-over performance?
23 overs.
8 overs. 8 overs for 23 runs?
Yes.
8
overs,
and 3 wickets. That's a fine performance from English.
It's a very good, very, very good performance from English. And who will get the ball now? I think it looks like Mr. Cummins will be bowling.
Yep, he's being called over. Looks like Butcher's going to give him the ball. Yep. Well, he's keeping us in suspense.
Steve, I might add that Butcher is not a bad bowler himself, and he's quite capable of going in there and taking a few, get a faster strike bowler in there to finish him off.
Right, as we see, you're right. Cummins has only given up 1.56 runs per over, but he's only, on the other hand, taken 7 wickets. So he's a good containment bowler, perhaps, but not the strike bowler. I understand. Well analyzed for us, Chico.
Thank you.
And if that's true, that's a good move by Butcher then.
This is the 29th over. This ball.
And there is Tull taking a full swing, laboring mightily and delivering a mouse as the ball trickled out towards point, and the batsman crossed for a single.
Very nice choice of words there, Steve.
It's not original, I'm afraid.
I know.
And now
Who's the new bowler?
the bowler is Austria, who bowled earlier. And now we have Bab taking the strike from Austria. Austria moves in. Bab with sort of a little flick towards the leg side, lucky
Very
not to get a
nicely
touch.
taken by wicketkeeper M.S.C.L.
He's done a fine job. He's
I
kept
know.
wicket much better than he's bowled today.
And much better than he fielded in the outfield.
That's right.
As well.
Ramprasad, I should not be cynical in that Ramprasad has bowled well all year. He didn't have his best day today, but he's also, as I say, kept wicket very well. There's a single for Bab off of a turn down to the leg side, and the batsman crossed for another
Bab
single.
moves to 2 and the score to 111 for 7.
Tull is also on 2. So with this now being the 30th over, 10 overs to go, it's would normally be time for the North Zone to start going after the runs, but
Yes,
with 7
Steve,
wickets
but-
down, it's tough to do that. Tull
Talbot
swings.
doesn't seem to think so, does he?
No, he swings mightily, misses it, and the ball wraps him on the pad, but apparently going down the leg side because there's no appeal. Of course, when I'm feeling at square leg, it never causes me to hesitate to appeal the fact that the ball's going down the leg side. Oh, and there's a nice pull by Tull down to long leg, where it's fielded by Osborne, and the batsman crossed for a single. Score moves on to 112. And now the sun is setting, the lights are on, and we're ready for this first night of cricket in Massachusetts.
Very dramatically put, Steve.
Austria moves into bowl, and Bab takes a mighty swing, doesn't make contact, and it goes through to the wicketkeeper, and that's the end of Austria's over.
112 runs, and I think all in all it had been a good performance on both sides, especially that inning from Yard. I think the reason he got out on that 49, he lost his concentration for a little bit there, put his head up in the air and went to the ball, and the ball knocked his leg stump.
How often that happens when they're going for that milestone?
Yes, it always happens. When you're on 50, 49 or you're on 99,
Right.
that one run there to get to your your 50 or your triple figure always get you.
It's bigger than all the other runs in the innings combined.
Bat like 3 hours or
That was
days.
that was a plan that it was going to be limited to 3 hours.
3 hours.
I'm not sure what they're doing on that. I was a little surprised to see them take the second water break because it's not hot out here, and it seems to me that it would be good if they would play through or get the team back out there. I think as far as the game so far is concerned, Chico Khan, you said that Tull could hit the ball hard, and we've just seen it. He just took Headley over the long on boundary for 6. Long off boundary, I'm sorry, for 6. My goodness, what a shot that was. Let's see what happens next. My goodness. Headley bowls again. Ooh. Oh, and there's going to be a run out. Bab's going to be run out. Oh, maybe not. He's back. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was
Pretty amazing,
a
Steve.
comedy of errors.
I can't believe that happened.
Tull hit the ball down to the backward short leg area. Bab went racing down the wicket. Both batsmen wound up at the batsman's end. The ball was thrown into the bowler's end where Cummings and Headley sort of tossed it around for a while. Finally, Headley's bowling figures are suddenly falling apart. Oh, and there's a very edgy shot over the slips, and the batsman crossed for 2 runs.
Well, we are getting into the slog overs here, and this is what they need to do.
Absolutely, 124 now in the 31st over, 124 for 7 wickets. And Tull now has 15 runs very quickly. And there goes that. That was in the air. He's going to be out. He's going to be caught. He's out. Well caught. Well caught by Austri down on the long on boundary. Tull tried to hit that one hard again. Got under it a little too much. And Austri, though falling on his back, caught it well.
So, I guess Headley gets the last laugh.
Yes, indeed. And how often the spinner does get the last laugh in these duels.
He did this time.
124 now for 8 wickets as Everton Tull is out. Caught Austri off the bowling of Grantley Headley for 15. And
We've got Glenn Williams going to the wicket. Actually, Steve, he is moving all of the fielders in.
you're right.
Deep square leg has now moved up into very short.
Almost. Whoa.
But Williams is quite capable. Maybe he isn't aware of this, but Williams is quite capable of hitting the ball quite hard as well.
Aha. Well, that was certainly what used to be called once upon a time an umbrella field that was set for him there. Okay, that's the end of the over, and runs, I believe. 18 runs?
Yeah.
18 runs for 4 wickets. So that last over...
For 3 wickets.
For 3 wickets. So that last over was 1 wicket for 12 runs. Good news and bad news.
Yes. So we've got Austri continuing from the other end.
Bab looking every inch left-handed Dennis Compton out there with head down, playing forward, not making any contact, but...
Not making any mistakes either.
No, absolutely. Austria moving in again. And a nice little turn down on the leg side to square leg by Bab, bringing Williams into the strike. And the score moving up to 125 for 8. The umpire is moving to the other side. I'm not quite sure why, since I believe Bab is a left-hander too, but I guess he...
I don't know what happened there, but umpire Nazir signaled a dead ball.
Okay, there we go again. Austria bowls. Ooh, and almost a catch. Williams lucky not to get an edge on that one. And there was Rampersad again, taking the ball very nicely down the leg side. He's done an excellent job as wicketkeeper.
Yes, indeed. And I don't know if he keeps. He's a regular wicketkeeper for his team, Steve. I know he's an opening bowler.
Yes. And there's the ball in the air and dropping just out of the reach of Cummings. Williams looking for a run off of it, but Bab would have nothing to do with it. That ball was in the air and surprising. Cummings could perhaps have made slightly more of an effort to catch it, but it fell safely.
It was somewhat hard.
It would have been a beautiful catch had he taken it, but he was a little half-hearted about going after it. And here's Austria again, and again a swing at it going down the leg side by Williams. These situation like this, Chico, it becomes tempting for the batsman to take his guard 3 or 4 inches outside the leg stump.
Yes, indeed.
And there's one in the air. Oh, and that's either 6 or 4. It's going to be 4, rolling to the boundary. Well, that may dissuade Captain Butcher from bringing in putting the umbrella field back on
For Williams.
for Williams again.
Well, that was the last ball of Williams' spell. Of Austri's spell, I do believe. He's now completed 8 overs.
Right, and
So we'll have 2 new bowlers coming on now.
and the score has moved up, I believe, to 128.
129.
129 for the loss of 8 wickets and 32 overs gone. 32 overs. 8 overs to go. A happy second.
We're finally going to see Mr. Cummins bowling from this end.
Indeed, and he's going to be bowling from the other end. He's going to be bowling from the Dunbar Avenue end.
I think this would be the north end.
I would prefer to call it the Dunbar Avenue end.
Okay, very well.
More descriptive and more local.
We'll go with the Dunbar Avenue end.
After all, every field in the world has a north end, but very few of them have a Dunbar Avenue end.
That's quite true.
Only Roberts Field. Brown to bowl to Babb. Babb forward defensively, correctly, and plays
that
it
was a
to
very good
Silly
first ball.
Midon. Absolutely.
Good length, good line,
Yep.
no mistakes.
Cummings bowls, I would say medium pace. And the batsmen go for a quick single. And Babb running makes his ground as Cummings doesn't take the bails off the throw just a second late. English shaking his head. I think he thinks he had a shot at that. But Cummings didn't take the bails off. I think Babb was there myself.
Yes, I think he was too.
Okay, there's Cummings moving in now to bowl to Tull. To Williams. Williams turns it down the leg side. Fielded down there. And that's another run. Score moves on to 131 for 8 wickets. Babb is on 4, and Williams, thanks to that boundary off the last over, is on 5. Babb now facing. Cummings bowling. Whoa, and a big swing there by Babb. Makes no contact, and the ball goes through to the wicketkeeper. Babb, I think, can consider himself lucky to have 3 stumps standing in back of him, because if that ball had been on the wicket, I think Babb would have played the same shot.
I think so too, and I think he'd be a lot closer to us right now.
Rings again. Oh, and a nice tickle down the leg side by Babb. It's being chased down there. The batsman crossed for 2 runs. And Babb moves up 6 and the score to 133. 133 for 8 off the 33rd over. Cummings bowling to Babb. Moving in and he bowls. Babb forward defensively again. Very correctly. Flashing that huge Sherlin Babb grin. Sherlin Babb is without doubt one of the most entertaining and enjoyable cricketers in the Mass State Cricket League.
Absolutely, Steve. We played against...
Or
I don't think so.
There's where you have his versatility in Osborne.
there comes Osborne moving in now to bowl to. Oh, and it's in the air. It could be an out. Yes, Hadley catches him at fine leg. Short fine leg. Hadley moving back takes a nice catch as Williams swung that one, got a top edge, spooned it into the air, and Hadley at short fine leg ran backwards to take a nice catch off the first ball delivered by Osborne. He gets a wicket. And
Stephen, now we see Lal Balgobin, the vice captain, going to the wicket, and I must say that if I had to score 50 runs, Lal Balgobin would not be the person I want to have. He's a great bowler, but he's not very good.
I see. As I recall, there was I'm not sure where Loud Balgobin is from. Is he from Guyana?
Yes, he's from
He is from
Guyana.
Guyana. So in that case, he is somewhat similar to another great Guyanese player by the name of Lance Gibbon.
sorry,
Right,
yes.
right. But it'll never be any better.
True.
And there's Bab playing a beautiful square cut. And that's going to be 4 runs. Just a gorgeous shot by Bab. Oh my goodness. And he moves into double figures at 10. And the score moves along, I believe, to 137.
37.
137 for 9. That was not the shot of a number 9 batsman. But then in the last All-Star game, he didn't play like a number 9 batsman either.
Well, Steve, you've got to remember in All-Star games, people who for their club may bat at number 4 or 5, when they're playing among the stars of the league, will sometimes move further down the order.
Absolutely.
Steve, if I may make an observation here, I think that was one of the best shots we had seen for the afternoon.
Absolutely.
It was one of the best shots.
A
Did they bring a drink for you guys?
Hey,
You guys need some ice?
you don't talk to me anymore.
And at the moment, we have we have Osborne getting ready to bowl again to Bab. I couldn't agree with you more, Willie Rodriguez. That shot was just a classy shot all the way.
Yeah, sure it was.
Bab forward defensively. Sherlin Bab is the sort of batsman who has all the technique. He can produce an excellent innings. His tendency not to produce those excellent innings more often is due rather to a lackadaisical approach. Ooh, and there's a beamer. Oh my goodness, that ball got away from Osborne and was almost head high to Bab, who
And
Got
Bab
out of
is
it.
quite tall too.
If the wicketkeeper was a little more alert, he could have been stumped because he went down the wicket to play the shot and he was out of his crease.
right. Oh, and I think that was an edge, but it was an effective edge. If it wasn't an edge, it was a beautiful shot. And under any circumstances, it's a single for Bab.
And more importantly, Steve, it was the last ball of the over, so Bab gets to keep the strike.
Excellent. Very good, Chico Khan. Bab moves on to 11. The score moves up. Bab and another square cut. And they're going for 2 runs. And the score moves up now. This is, I believe, the 35th over. And the score moves up to 140. 13 runs for Bab, who is batting beautifully.
Yes, he looks very good out there.
When he applies himself, he is just a beautiful batsman. And that time he didn't apply himself. That's the tendency, I'm afraid, to periodically take the wild swing, but the ball did not hit the wicket. So he's still there. Okay, it's moving in again now to bowl to Bab. Bab plays it to mid-on. Balgobin calling for a single. Bab would have none of it, and Balgobin had to scramble back into his crease.
Quite wisely too, I might add.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think Cummins would let the same thing happen twice.
Bab plays that one again quietly to the leg side. $140 for 9. Respectable score, not a great score, but one that should be defensible, I think, with the bowling that North Zone has. Bab again turning it very nicely down the leg side
again.
to third man. And once again,
He's got the single on the ball before the last.
the next to
in this
last
case.
ball. So, in other words, Balgobin will have to survive only one ball of the over, and then Bab will be facing again. 141 for 9. And the field changing over for the right-handed Balgobin. And field changing over and moving in. That's a nice shot by Balgobin, defeating the best laid plans of Sherlin Babb, because he takes the single off the last ball and he farms the strike. But he also gets off the mark, and the score moves on to 142 with 5 for 9 wickets with 5 overs left in the North Zone inning. And now we're going to see Balgobin facing the bowling of Osborne. It's gorgeous. This is just wonderful. A sight never seen before in Boston. A night cricket match. Here now we have. And there, that's the problem that Babb was attempting to avoid. There's Balgobin's off stump, knocked back, and North Zone is all out for 142. Balgobin bowled Osborne for 1. Sherlin Babb left, not out, with 14 runs. Nice innings by Babb. And in a moment we will ask Willie Rodriguez to recap the innings for us. But a target of 143 runs for South Zone to win the match is not at all out of the question. This match, ladies and gentlemen, is in the balance without any question. There are a lot of good batsmen on the South Zone team, and although the North Zone has excellent bowlers, it remains to be seen whether this 142 will hold up or not. We might conceivably go right down to the first ever night game in Boston. North Zone scored 142 all out, and South the reply to the North Zone. And we have here with us Michael Bishop of Spartans Cricket Club and a longtime veteran of the Mass State Cricket League. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, what would you like? How does the match look from your point of view at the moment?
Well, I think the team that batted first, I agree with you completely. I still think, though, that the South Zone has a pretty good opportunity. I've seen some of the players that was selected, or has been selected rather, are quite prolific. And if they get going under normal or good or ideal conditions, I believe can be quite successful today.
Absolutely. So it's wicketkeeper. There's the first ball, and and almost a run out off the very first ball as Headley played the ball down to gully, and Ramperso wanted a single.
I scored as a white camera.
One ball.
Lal Balgobin bowling. Moving into bowl, second ball to Headley. And Headley wrapped on the pad, an appeal mainly from extra cover. Usually the appeals from extra cover are the most unimportant and usually the loudest also.
Who's the bowler?
Myself, when I'm playing square leg, I feel that I give my best appeals.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Balgobin moving in, bowling again, left arm. And there's Headley getting an edgy shot over gully and down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, it's a very thick outside edge to that one. It's lobbed over the gully position. So without field being quite fast.
What's the other batsman's name?
Ball really went into the fence quickly.
Yep, not a confident beginning, but an effective one. 4 runs off of the first 4 balls of the over.
That's true. I expect to see, though, that the South Shore players really go after the ball. Really go after the ball, and if they get the chance to.
Here's Balgobin moving in to bowl again. Short of a length and very fast. The batsman crossed for a single. Did that come off bat? I see no signal from the umpire, so I assume it did.
Well, yes, it did, but it actually came off the mid, and the ball seemed to cut back an awful lot into Headley, and he was looking to play a cut shot. The ball cut back almost square and taking him on the mid.
Balgobin is quite fast. In fact, I think he's the fastest bowler we've seen all day, and but bowling very short of a length, or several of them have been.
That's true, and on the wicket, it seemed to be giving him a little bit of life. He seemed to be a lot faster than he usually is during the regular club games.
Huh. Well, that ball went through quietly to the wicketkeeper. 5 runs without loss is South Zone in reply to North Zone's 142 all out. A couple of, well, I'll give those in a moment as in comes Balgobin, and last ball, and an appeal for LBW as he hits Rampersad on the pad, but the appeal is disallowed, and that's the end of the first over. Score 5 runs without loss. Takes up the strike again, and looks like, is that Bap that's going to be?
No, it's Tull.
Tull, okay. Everton Tull bowling from the Weeping Willow end to Headley. Headley's performance on the year, he's averaging 14.71 runs a game. He has a total of 103 runs with high scores of 35 and 36.
Tull's first ball starting outside the leg stump and going further down the leg side. Johnson doing a very good job to at least stop that one.
One of the advantages that North Zone has probably in this game is wicket keeping. They have a very effective wicket keeper in Johnson. Probably the best wicket keeper. Certainly I would maintain the best wicket keeper batsman in the league. And that's a big advantage for the North Zone.
I agree with that. Johnson is a very good player, very experienced, and he uses that every game.
Tull, one of the opening. Oh, there's another full toss, and he's going to be out. And Headley plays a second high full toss in a row, right into the hands of square leg, and he is out. Balgobin catches the ball off the bowling of Tull, who has bowled 2 full tosses, and the second one, Headley just played a very bad stroke to, just popped it up into the air to square leg, and South Zone has suffered a serious loss here in Headley. 5 runs for 1 wicket. Headley caught Balgobin off the bowling of Everton Tull for 5.
And what we saw there was Headley seemed to be quite uncomfortable against Tull. I don't know if it was simply because of his speed or because it was a full ball.
These are your classic brushback pitchers in baseball. And to give Edwin M.S.C.L, who can be one of the most entertaining batsmen in the league. In the first All-Star game this year, but they've got to make sure for the South Zone. Right. Okay, 3rd over coming up. Balgobin's second over, Lal Balgobin's second over. This first over was the first time I've ever seen Lal Balgobin bowl, and I must say I was very impressed. Was very fast. It's been trouble, and he's extremely fast.
Yeah, he's looking quite fast. At this point, I'm kind of ranking him with some of the faster bowlers in the league, which is a bit surprising for me because I never expected him to be this fast.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the fastest bowler in the league is probably Adrian Jordan. I haven't seen anyone faced anyone faster than him so far this year. But Balgobin is not that fast, but he's close. He's a level down from that, I would say. Balgobin's bowling performances on the year are very impressive. He has a runs per over rate of only 1.84. He's taken 17 wickets with at an average of 8.24 runs apiece and a strike rate of 1 wicket every 26.82 deliveries, which is very impressive.
Yes, it is. And what I'm seeing today from him is that he's not only fast, but he's also moving the ball.
Yep.
He's really getting the ball to cut back into the batsman an awful lot, which I'm sure is surprising them as much as it's surprising me.
That is one of his repertoire, having that ball come into the batsman at a very fast pace off the wicket. And he tends to get that ball moving all the time. All the time, and that tends to make him a very dangerous bowler.
Which is kind of surprising for a left-arm bowler, though. The orthodox left-arm bowler tends to run the ball away from a right-handed batsman. And here, Balgobin, he's going the other way.
Yes, Bishop, if you have noticed, he's not bowling around the wicket as most left-handed do. He's bowling over the wicket.
He's bowling around the wicket. Yeah.
Being as he's a left-hander, it looks like he's bowling around the wicket, but normally they bowl on the other side of the wicket, the left-hander does, so that he can get to have that natural swing to cut the ball away from the batsman.
Well, I have to say, as I'm watching him right now, not only am I appreciating him, but I'm also thinking that my team, Commonwealth, is going to be playing Guyana International in another couple of weeks, and I'm going to be opening the batting against him. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how what sort of guard I'm going to take. I'm tempted to take off at the moment.
In Hackett, a couple point to cover, the mid-off, on the leg side, he has a leg slip, backward spin, mid-wicket.
And Tull's beginning to find his length. And bowling very aggressively.
Yes, he is. As I said, he's here with the same intensity as if it was a club game.
Mm-hmm.
And his intent is to get everyone out without any runs being scored off, which is a good motivation factor.
Absolutely. Whoops, another full toss. But hey, he's been successful with his full tosses so far, so what can you say?
Yeah, he has been, I'm sure. It seems as though the batsmen are having difficulty picking the line of the ball off once it leaves the bowler's arm.
Here he comes moving in again. Taking a short run. That one was much better length. And again, M.S.C.L plays it away on the offside. M.S.C.L, who is normally, as we've said, a very attacking player, however, has played enough cricket to understand that it's important he remain there for a while and is taking the time to play himself in and hopefully play these two opening bowlers of the North Zone off.
That's true. The surprising thing here I'm seeing, though, is that M.S.C.L is trying to dig in, which is unlike him. He's more the type of player that comes out and tries to score runs at as fast a rate as possible. Here he seems to be trying to dig in and pull the team out of the hole that has been made so far.
Which, of course, is one of the functions that a number 3 batsman has to serve. A number 3 batsman is often a very attacking, aggressive and beautiful batsman, but he also has to be prepared to come in and do that job as an opening batsman against a new ball if that first wicket goes down in the first couple of overs. And that's what M.S.C.L seems to be doing at the moment.
That's true, but I think that M.S.C.L for several years have shunned that responsibility. The responsibility of coming out and digging in. His intent has always been to get rid of the ball as fast as he can.
Huh. Well, he takes 2 off of that last delivery, and the score moves up to 9 runs now for 1 wicket, and that's the end of the over. Another good over by Tull, just the 2 runs off of it. Michael, how long have you been involved with Massachusetts cricket?
Well, I'd like to see this for the Mass State. I'd like to say for cricket in general,
yep.
Which is that more younger
players. Excuse me, Michael. Here I am. we do have a game to talk about too. Oh, what a Yorker from Balgobin, and Rampersaw's stumps are spread eagled, and he scored 1, and now the score is 9 runs for 2 wickets.
It is in the South Zone in an awful lot of trouble right now.
Who's this coming in?
Harding.
Okay, this is
Ian Harding.
Ridley Harding?
Yeah.
Ridley Harding from Combine Island Sports Club coming in to take Rampersord's place at the wicket, but 9 runs for 2 wickets, and now there's no doubt about it. The South Zone is in serious trouble. While the batsmen change, the things you were going to say you want to see happening.
Yeah, for cricket in general, especially in the Boston area, that more younger folks would get involved in the game. I'm sure there's still a large influx of folks from the Caribbean coming into the Boston area. But for some reason, they're not getting involved in the sport, and what you have is that the same players are playing every year. And very soon, you're going to have, every team having 15 players that are over age 50. And evidently, you can't play at that age.
And how do you think we should combat this? What can we do is there something we can do to reach out to new players coming into the area? Or one thing I personally would like to see, quite frankly, is that I would like to see more reaching out to the Indian and Pakistani communities in the area, because I know there's a league of about a group of teams, about 8 teams that play with a tennis ball out in the Burlington area that I'm sure they would love to start playing. So any suggestions as to how we might reach out?
Well, this is
doing it, absolutely. It's probably putting this on television is doing an important job as well. There's a nice shot by Harding for 2 runs, a cover drive, and the score moves on to 11 runs.
Well, as I was saying, one of the fundamental things that has to happen is that the players need to recognize that everyone is part of the community. And what has to happen is that we need to treat each one equally. Folks from the Caribbean tend to think that, it's our game, it's our sport, we don't want to include others. And therefore, people from Pakistan, India, they feel alienated. What we need to do is reach out to them, make them feel as though they're part of us and that we're all here to accomplish one goal. If that's done, then I think that we'll see more interest from these people.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Meanwhile, an interesting battle is going on here between Balgobin and Harding. Ooh, this has hit him for the 2nd time in a row on the pad. And another appeal disallowed. At the end of the over. Excellent over again by Balgobin, and the score is 11 runs for 2 wickets.
Yes, that's true. We've seen that Balgobin have seemed to change his strategy. Initially, his first 2 overs, he seemed to be short of a good length. Now he seems to be bringing the ball up to the batsman more. And he was successful in his last over by getting...
I see Edwin M.S.C.L looking around the field, and I have the feeling he's going to start hitting out. I just have that feeling. He's going to start playing aggressively.
I'm sure that's what M.S.C.L wants to do, but Tull evidently doesn't want to give in, and he's the sort of player that isn't going to give in if he can help it.
M.S.C.L's talking to Tull, Michael. We saw him saying, you can see his lips moving, saying something to Tull at the end of that ball. And Tull dourly moves in and bowls again. And M.S.C.L making an attempt at a hook, but not getting anywhere, and a big smile spreads across his face. M.S.C.L, one of the very entertaining characters in the league, and both in terms of his batting and in terms of his personal style.
Yes, that's true. He's very charismatic.
Absolutely. I'm not sure. We see some people who probably are not familiar with cricket walking slowly across the field, some spectators, but the umpire ushers them across. Now Tull bowls again. M.S.C.L plays it defensively out on the onside. It's picked up by Shelley. 11 runs for 2 wickets. South Zone in reply to North Zone's 142. And there's another appeal turned down by umpire Nazir as Tull once again wraps M.S.C.L on the pad. And there's no doubt at the moment that these bowlers definitely have the upper hand, whether a result of how much of a part the Oh, and there may be a run out here, but whoops. But Shelley is too slow picking it up and misfields, and the field players run through for single. Usually Shelley is a very safe-handed fielder, but that one he let get away and lost a chance at a run out. Now the field switches over for the right-hander. 2 slips, a third man, a deep point, a cover, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, a square leg back of the umpire, and a leg slip.
It's true until here, tending to bring the ball into the batsman from outside the off stump, and his field definitely indicates that.
That's the end of another good over from Tull. Scored 12 runs now, holder in the league, but he's just one level below that. Chico, would you say that?
Well, Steve, I told you at the start that Balgobin and Tull were 2 of the best bowlers on the field here tonight. And I think we're seeing that right now.
Balgobin just beat M.S.C.L again, all ends up, and the ball went through to the wicketkeeper, allowed appeal for a catch behind the wicket, disallowed by the umpire. But there is no doubt that he and Tull are giving these South Zone All-Stars.
That bowling still to come for the North Zone. There's Ashraf and Williams and Babb, and I think we'll see a good game.
Absolutely.
That score of 142 doesn't seem to be so low anymore, does it?
No, I never really thought it was low. I always thought that it was going to be difficult for South Zone to mount that. And I think we also have to keep in mind the difficulty of playing under the lights.
Especially for the first time.
Right.
Unfamiliarity of the situation.
If I may cut in here,
Sure.
I think that we should also make mention of the people who are responsible for this broadcast here today. And I hope that we can get in contact with the producers and the engineers and have their names mentioned.
Absolutely.
And give them some accolades for this wonderful privilege to be on TV.
Absolutely, Willie. Joe Collins, who is the producer of this and who is a player for Combined Islands in our league, has done just a wonderful job of putting this together and the West Indian community, as well as the cricketing community and the West Indian community, owe a great deal to Joe Collins for this important contribution to our culture.
Well said, Steve.
Another excellent ball from Balgobin. And Chico, I know we're going to be playing Commonwealth is going to be playing against Guyana International in a couple of weeks. Can I bat down the order that day?
No, Steve, that's why I'm bringing you back into the team to face Balgobin and see his 8 overs off.
Uh-oh. Well, I promise I'll at least see one ball of the 8 overs off. Oh, there's a nice shot by M.S.C.L, and it's misfielded out there and no runs. M.S.C.L is just M.S.C.L was posing a little bit there, and there definitely should have been a run as that ball rolled down to third man, but no runs. And that's the end of the over.
Balgobin has now had 4 overs, 2 maidens, 7 runs, 1 wicket. Brilliant bowling in the first half of this spell so far.
Especially if one remembers that of that 7 runs,
4 came off an edge.
over gully by Headley, absolutely. So without that, you're really talking about 4 overs, 2 maidens, 3 of a full toss, but moving into bowl. Oh, and there's a nice shot, a beautiful shot by Harding for 4, as he flicks that one away down to the long leg boundary. And the score moves up to 16 runs for 2 wickets. Harding on 6 and M.S.C.L on 4. There's a bouncer, my goodness, from Tull, following the boundary by Harding. We see a bouncer, which is still allowed in the Massachusetts State Cricket League, even though usually bouncers are not permitted in limited overs cricket.
Well,
but
I think the reason why it's never had to be outlawed is because the bowlers in the Mass State Cricket League have usually been very responsible as far as bowling bouncers.
And there's a run, a quick single for the two batsmen, and after a push back past the bowler, and the score moves up to 17, with Harding now on 7, and there's a not just wind up bowling long hops.
Right.
A couple of years ago, I played out in the Southern California League, where they have turf wickets, and there were a lot of bouncers being bowled out there. But of course, then they don't play. We're not playing limited overs cricket either. So, okay, here is Tull now bowling to M.S.C.L. And M.S.C.L, a nice cover drive past mid-off. We can't reach it, and it's going all the way to the mid-off boundary, to the long-off boundary for 4. Beautiful shot by M.S.C.L, taking the score now on to 21, and M.S.C.L is on 8, and 7 for Harding. Well, Chico, these two.
Well, this has been a very expensive over for Tull and for the North Zone.
Oh, a big edge!
And
Nice field. Well picked up by Shelley and throws it in.
there was only a single off that one. Let's
That-
see if this is going to keep on going this way, or if they'll be able to restrict them again on the next over.
Absolutely. There's Shelley taking who needs a bicycle to get from one side to the other. The captain should do something about that. There's a nice throw in by Yard to wicketkeeper Johnson, and that's the end of the over. As you said, Chico, an expensive over. That makes things a little bit more pleasant now for the South Zone. They're now 22 runs for 2 wickets off of 8 overs, so they're almost up to 3 runs.
Their run rate has gone to 2.75. The required run rate over 40 overs is 3.75. Again, it's the 2 opening bowlers, so the run rate should get a little bit.
Falls before 50, and South Zone is in deep, deep trouble. Balgobin wrapping M.S.C.L on the pad.
With Balgobin bowling the way he is, I think it would take a lot of work from these South Zone batsmen to push the score along, at least from his end.
And frankly, Chico, at this point, I'd be very tempted to keep Balgobin on there for all 8 of his overs the way he's bowling right now.
And I know Balgobin can do it as well.
Yeah.
He bowls eight overs through on quite a few occasions. Might I add that I think the reason why Balgobin is so good is that he and I went to the same high school. So that may have something to do about it.
I see. So, in other words, you say in this high school there was a method of siphoning off the talent of some players and giving it to others? Well, Balgobin, I've been very impressed with. We're definitely going to have to figure out some way to trip him before Guyana International plays against us, Chico. Moving in again to bowl to M.S.C.L. M.S.C.L is not an easy batsman to keep under control. Ooh, and he almost has him again.
Yeah, that ball troubled him all ways. I don't think he had a clue as to what was coming at him that time.
Looked like Jeff Boycott batting against Michael Holding.
Indeed it did.
A good ball by Balgobin again. And just a very, very impressive performance. Moving in again to bowl. And there's a M.S.C.L cutting cane.
Yes, he's trying to be aggressive, but he's not having much success so far.
I have noticed that it's very difficult for these batsmen to be aggressive successfully when they miss the ball.
Indeed.
It's very important if you're going to be aggressive to make contact with the ball, and M.S.C.L has not been able to do that recently against Balgobin. There he is again, moving into bowl. Oh, and there was a full toss, which M.S.C.L manages to slide away down to third man. The throw-in gets past wicketkeeper Johnson, but it's backed up by Yard. And that's the end of the over. The score moving on now, I guess, to 23 runs for 2 wickets after 9 overs. And let's see if Tull will be. I'd be very tempted to take Tull off after his last.
I would too, of course. We shouldn't sit here and second guess the captain, should we? But yeah, I think I would. His line has been off almost constantly.
But to be truthful, the batsmen haven't looked comfortable against him either until the last over. But he is coming back, and let me say, I don't think that was a case of second guessing. I think that was a case of first guessing. I made my observation that they should take Tull off before I saw what was going to happen. And M.S.C.L again goes fishing outside the off stump. Wicketkeeper Johnson throws down the stumps, but M.S.C.L is easily back.
If Tull does find his length, he can be a very good bowler.
Oh yes,
quite honestly. I have faced him before, and I know that.
As you may recall, we 3 of us all played together against Hartford a couple of years ago, and Tull was a very, very effective bowler in that match. There's a short ball, and there's M.S.C.L trying to hook it, missing, and it being taken smoothly by wicketkeeper Johnson.
Steve, if I may make a comment here, you can see M.S.C.L is sort of struggling because in his heyday, that would have been dispatched to the boundary for 6. He just missed his bonus here.
You think that's perhaps partially because of the light, as we see a misfield by Yard there, and the batsman crossed for a single?
Yes, I would tend to believe so. You see, the fact is that it's the very first time I get any one of these players here playing cricket under the lights.
Right.
And I think it would pose some problems.
And in addition, if I may say so, while the Boston Parks and Recreation Department and Jackie Cooper in particular have done a wonderful job of setting up the grounds and the lights and so on for the Mass State Cricket League, I would observe that all of us are learning how to do this, and some of the lights probably could be focused a little bit better on the wicket itself as opposed to on the outfield. So, we're all learning, and we've come so far, and that we're having this match here. But a year from now, when we do it, we'll know even a little better what.
Yes,
to do.
most definitely, Steve. The light should have been focused a little more on the wicket.
Right.
As you see on the baseball pads, the lights are right on the pads itself.
Right.
They never catered for cricket, but nonetheless, I think as time goes on, they can make the adjustment.
Right. And there's a single for Harding, and the score moves up to 25, I believe. 25 for 2 wickets, and this the 10th over. And make a replacement, or is Balgobin going to continue to bowl? Again, I would looks like Balgobin is going to continue bowling, yes. Good move, I think, by Blake. There's always a tendency when you have an outstanding bowler like a Balgobin, clearly seems to be, and on his day, to save some of those 8 overs for later on when you might be able to use him to rip up after you've broken through and to take some quick wickets. But the way he is bowling, I would keep him on. And we see now he is switching, and he's going to start bowling over the wicket, Willie Rodriguez, which is...
Yeah. Which is rather interesting, Steve.
I mean, he was having such good luck over the wicket. You'd think he would stay
He
there.
would stay there, yes. Yeah. I guess he thinks that the batsmen and them are playing a little more comfortable with him bowling around the wicket, so now he's coming over the wicket.
Absolutely.
See if he can confuse them a little.
And he wraps Harding on the pad again, this time with it looked like a full toss, and nothing, an appeal, but the umpire turns it down. Seems to be a little dust blowing around over there also.
Yes.
It's Balgobin again to Harding. Oh, and very uppishly plays forward and pushes it back down the wicket. And that was not the way that Harding wanted to play that ball at all.
Steve, getting back to switching Balgobin off, I might mention that Balgobin is also the captain of his club, as well as the vice captain of this team out here tonight. So I'm sure Blake would consult him on what to do, in that situation.
There's a nice looking shot from.
And Ashraf kind of lost sight of the ball there for a moment after he bobbled it.
And now it's being thrown around a little bit out there. Some untidy play by the North Zone in the field. Now Balgobin is moving back to around the wicket to the left-handed batting M.S.C.L. Here he comes. Ooh, and that one almost got through. A very good ball bowled by Balgobin, and M.S.C.L plays it defensively back down the wicket. Earlier, Michael Bishop was remarking, Chico, that M.S.C.L style is not at all, even when it's really needed, it's not at all to stand there and play himself in and try to hold his wicket up for a while.
Absolutely, and I think the only reason he would ever do that is because he can't do anything else. And that could be an indication of how good the bowling is tonight, or it may even be a little bit of...
With age is maturing into a more steady and how can I put it, a responsible player.
Steve, I think there's a 1 in 5.8 million chance of that happening.
Well, as we have mentioned earlier, Chico Khan is a wonderful statistician, so I'm certainly not going to argue with those statistics. Let's put it this way. There are two ways of going about dealing with difficult bowling. One is to get in, stay in, play with your head down, and take the runs when they come. The other is to try to knock it off length and off line by attacking it and hurting the bowler's confidence. M.S.C.L's approach generally is the latter. In this case, he seems to be, whether by choice or by necessity, he is doing the former. Now we see a bowling change. Is this Sherlin-Babb coming on to bowl? I think. Yep. Yep.
Yes, I think that is bad.
Sherlin-Babb from North Shore, whom we saw play an attractive undefeated innings of 17, I believe, for the South.
He bowled 8 overs and gave up 5 runs.
Wow.
In those 8 overs.
That's quite a performance. Let's see. He has a strike rate of 1 wicket every 19.8 deliveries, and an average of 1 wicket every 7.85 of a wicket every 7.85 runs. 20 wickets so far this year for 157 runs, which is excellent bowling. His best performance was he took 6 wickets for 19 runs against Lynn earlier this year.
Yes, he's one of only 3 people to have taken 6 wickets in a match all year.
Excellent.
11.
And he's forcing thus far has forced Harding to play a couple of defensive shots.
And as you can see, he gives up only 2.38 runs an over, which is very good.
Excellent. I know he didn't take too many wickets in the Commonwealth match. As I see here, he took 2. And the reason I know that is because I know that there was one bowler who took, I believe, either 4 or 5 wickets.
4 wickets.
4 wickets.
Barry Moses.
Barry?
4 wickets for 25 runs and 8 overs.
Right.
That's fabulous, Steve. Seeing an American who is not into baseball or football, and he's into the cricket game, I think that's wonderful.
And not only is he into it, but he's a good player. When you take 4 wickets, I mean, that's
yes, definitely. He's a very, very impressive bowler.
Yep.
And he performs well.
Yes.
He performs well.
Okay, Babb continuing a very solid over here. No runs off it so far.
Plays for North Shore.
And played defensively again, and that's the end of a maiden over from Bab.
1-4. And the scoring rate is substantially behind that at 2.17.
It's absolutely spectacular. Howan is an outstanding computer programmer. That's what he does for a living, and he has created a computer program that gives us all of these numbers automatically just by hitting a key on this little keyboard that he's got there.
Well, Steve, I think you should mention that there's a bowling change out there. Balgobin is now off. Naveed Ashraf of Quincy,
From Quincy, right.
Pakistani national, lives in the United States now, and he will be bowling from the north end, from the Dunbar Avenue.
Ah, outstanding. It's very nice to see, may I say as a West Indian, that it's very nice to see the inclusion of at least two players from countries outside
the world playing in the M.S.C.L League, as well as some from countries where no cricket is being played.
like the United States. Okay, Willie Rodriguez, do you have Balgobin's?
Yes, he has bowled 6 overs, 1 maiden, 9 runs, and he's collected 1 wicket.
Oh, and there's a ball in the air, hit by M.S.C.L, out through the covers, and the batsman crossed for 2 runs. An overthrow is stopped out there in the deep, and 2 runs, more runs for M.S.C.L, taking the score up to 28 runs for 2 wickets. That was Ashraf's first delivery, hit for 2. M.S.C.L now on 14, I believe, 13.
13, yeah.
And there's a ball in the air. He's going to be out. He's out, caught and bowled. M.S.C.L hit that the second delivery from Ashraf in the air to the left side, to the leg side. Ashraf moved over. It was just spooned up. It was a dolly catch. Ashraf took it smoothly, and M.S.C.L is out. Caught and bowled Ashraf for 14, 13? 13. And so South Zone now are just in as deep a hole as you could want. 28 runs for 3 wickets. They need another 115 runs with just 7 wickets in hand.
And they have to get that at 4 runs per over.
And the batsman now, Douglas Manning of Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And he is one of the players, MIT, the only college team in the area that's playing in the Mass State Cricket League. We hope that such schools which have reputation. The score is Manning's performance so far this year is average of 13.43. 40 runs is his high score. Lynn is 27. He scored 27 against Lynn and 15 against Conway. An aggregate of 94.
Actually, this going on tape. It's going on tape, and it's for people to listen to and watch. I don't use them kind of language as well.
That was a good ball from Ashraf there.
Good bowling. Ashraf moving in and bowling again. And the ball played back down the wicket defensively by Manning.
Well, Steve, I think Manning's job right now is to try to consolidate and stay there. I mean, we've said this before the last wicket fell, but now it becomes even more imperative that he does that.
Absolutely, Chico. There's a short ball from Ashraf and beautifully played by Manning. And the fielder out there seemed to be fooled by it. Wayne Hackett seemed to be fooled by that. and went the wrong way, and the ball got by him. I don't know whether it had a problem with the lighting. Maybe he lost it in the sun.
Well, it's possible to hit a pebble or something up there.
Yep.
and bounce
Steve, in the sun, they say he lost it in the moonlight.
There's no moon up there either, as a matter of fact. Okay, and that was 2 runs, taking the score along to, I believe, 30?
30 for 3.
30 for 3.
Yeah,
And that was a good over by Ashraf, taking 1 wicket for 4 runs. In it.
This time I can pick up the complete shot of the bowler delivering to the batsman. I don't want to talk to you. Please move.
We had a game this season.
Ooh, and there was a good delivery by
This is on that for you.
Sherlin Babb, and going down the leg side, sort of a tentative wave by Harding as it went through to the wicketkeeper Johnson. Oh, and there's a ball striking, looked like it hit the pad, but it must have come off the bat because there was no appeal. Babb moving back to his mark now. You can see him smiling, rubbing the ball against his thigh. Puts his fingers on it in the way that he wants to hold it in order to maximize the swing of the ball through the air. He moves into bowl, short of a length that time, but Harding was not in the mood to make an aggressive shot. He just sort of hung his bat out there and was lucky not to get an edge. Not a confident stroke at all by Harding. But Harding is doing a very important job. His score is now 9, and he's been there for a while, trying to solidify and consolidate this innings. A single for Harding, and the score moves on to 31. This is the 14th over. So after this over, more than 2, or after the next over, the 15 overs will be up, and more than 2 of the fielders will be able to move outside that 90-foot ring, that 90-foot circle. Sherlin moves in, Sherlin Babb and bowls, and it's a good ball. Again, Manning trying to flick it down the leg side, not getting a touch, and going through to the wicketkeeper Johnson, who threw down the wicket. Johnson's deadly accurate at throwing down the wicket from well behind the stumps. He did it again, but the batsman was back in his crease. Babb walks thoughtfully back to his mark, as we can see Manning looking around, checking the field, and now Babb moves in again to bowl. Oh, and he's out. He is out. Umpire Nazir looked long and hard before giving Manning out a confident appeal. Nazir looked down the wicket, checked everything out, and finally gave Manning out. LBW off the bowling of Babb for 9. I'm sorry, not for 9, for 2. And South Zone falls deeper and deeper into trouble. Now 31 runs for 4 wickets here in the 14th over. And with the score 31 for 4.
Still to come in.
Osborne coming into bat now. Ivan Osborne of Windsor Cricket Club. I don't. What can you say? There seems. Oh, and there's a nice shot for a single. Looking for 2. Hesitating, but now they're going to make it. Yep.
We've
2
got
buys.
Butcher to come. Butcher is an excellent batsman. We've got English and Lalfing. English and Lalfing still to come as well. So they've still got some decent batting to come.
Okay.
I won't write them off quite yet.
And Cummins can bat also.
Cummins, useful batsman as well.
Okay.
Steve, this is the situation I was talking about earlier. I cannot emphasize how it important it was that South Zone settle in before they go for the rash shots to hit the ball over the top and try to get the runs. They have to settle in because the nightlight is going to play tricks on you for the very first time.
Absolutely, Willie Rodriguez. In addition to which, the score that they were facing was not such a score that should have required them to really go for the runs quickly. I mean, they could take their time and build an innings and go for the runs right at the end. It was not an insurmountable score, providing they had the wickets with which to do it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it looks like they're going to run out of wickets at the rate they're going. There's a good ball from Ashraf, and well fielded out there by Tull. And the score is now 33, is it?
Yes, 33.
33 for 4 wickets. As Ashraf bowls, and there's a good ball, an edge by, and it goes for 4 runs, 4 edgy runs off the bat of
Harding.
of Harding, and that takes him into double figures now. He wasn't double figures. He now has 14. A lovely evening for cricket.
Absolutely amazing. I never thought I would have the opportunity to sit here and watch a game under the lights anywhere in the world, least of all perhaps here in the United States.
Absolutely.
But it is a most enjoyable evening. We have a good crowd turnout too, Steve. I have to compliment you on that. We have, I would guess, over 200 people here at one time. Perhaps some have left now to go home. It's getting a little late in the evening.
Well, if they do, they can watch it at home because it's on TV live.
They certainly can.
BNN TV.
And I was going to say that if anybody's in the locality and would like to come down and join us, they're more than welcome to do so.
Absolutely.
Do they know where we are here, Steve?
Roberts Field, just off of Dunbar Avenue in Dorchester. Absolutely.
That's right.
The score has now moved up to 38 runs for 4 wickets. Willie, you were going to say something?
Yes, for those people who doesn't know where Roberts Field is located, it's the field that faces the Dorchester High. So if you don't know where Roberts Field is, you know where Dorchester High is. You can come along and join us here this evening for our very first live telecast game.
And night game.
Of night cricket.
Absolutely. And this still could turn out to be a very exciting match. We saw a very nice play down to long leg there for a single, and the score moving up to 39 runs for 4 wickets. Ooh, and a good ball to Osborne from Babb, and Osborne just manages to keep it out of his wicket and push it out into the silly mid-off area where Yard moves in and fields it. 39 runs for 4 wickets, South Zone in reply to North Zone's 142. Osborne is on 1, and I'm not sure how much Harding is. We'll get it.
17.
Harding's 17. And there's an appeal.
Good ball.
And umpire Nazir does not respond. We were careful about saying that because he was very slow to give the last batsman out, which is not a criticism. He took his time to decide where the ball had pitched, where it had hit the batsman, and ultimately gave him out. But this time he gives him not out. Babb moving in again to bowl. To Osborne. Who on a full toss that beats the wicket keeper and is stopped in the deep by Tull very nicely and thrown in, saving 3 runs there. Instead, it's just a single by. That was some nice outfield.
Yes, I don't know whether you've talked at all this evening, Steve, on the quality of the fielding, but it's one of the aspects of this evening's match that I've been quite impressed with. The fielding in particular has been very good by both sides. I've impressed by the return to the wickets. The wicketkeeper there has not had to move extensively to retrieve the ball, having been thrown in. It's been thrown in crisply and quickly, and had limited the runs being able to be scored by the batsman to a single when there might have been 2 runs, or 2 when there might have been 3. And the other aspect that you touched on briefly there was the umpiring. And perhaps at the end of this over, I'll comment a little bit more on my feelings of the umpiring for tonight's game.
Absolutely. umpiring, of course, is such an important part of cricket, and not referring to tonight, but one of the things that I've felt, David, is that this year the umpiring in the Mass State Cricket League has improved tremendously, thanks largely to the work of Victor Perch and also the rest of the umpires.
Very much so, certainly has.
There was a good ball by Nazir Ashraf, hailing from Pakistan. And
world champions, Pakistan, world champions.
That's right. They're engaged with your country right at the moment.
That's right, they are.
Interesting series.
Yes, very much so.
1-1 with one match to go.
One to go, exactly. I'm not quite certain when the last match starts. Is it this Thursday or a week from Thursday? But it's very soon. And it looks like being an exciting fifth and final Test match at the Oval, my ground, if you wish.
That's right.
Where Surrey play.
Yep. And will Graham Hick still be in the lineup? What do you think, David?
I don't know. He on and off. He's hot and cold as that young man. He doesn't seem to have reached the potential that everybody was suggesting he might be able to attain earlier on in the season. But I think given a few more years under his belt, he will be a regular member of the English team. Whether he'll be in for this fifth and final match depends on a number of factors, particularly bearing in mind that the batsmen the players I should say, who were prohibited playing for England due to the South African issue are now reinstated and are eligible to play for England. The competition is much more severe.
Well,
so we'll have to see.
Well, David, I'm just going to disagree with you slightly. I think that Graham Hick will in fact be a regular Test cricketer, but not for England. I think he's going to be a regular Test cricketer for. He's out. He's out. Is he out?
Given out,
no,
caught behind?
Given
No.
Not out by the umpire. A confident appeal for a catch behind, but of Osborne, but disallowed by the umpire.
That was a lovely rising ball there, well taken by the keeper, and the batsman Osborne played and missed at it, and Naveed Ashraf thought he had the catch behind, but disallowed.
Of course, Commonwealth is going to be playing Naveed Ashraf and Quincy in the near future too. I was looking at Balgobin out there, who bowls for Guyana International. I'm going to probably be facing both of these guys. You want to open the inning, David?
Steve, I think I'll let you open the inning against those two gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Beautiful ball by Bab. Looks like it swung back from outside the off stump and
just clipped the
leg stump.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's gone. Osborne.
No, that's
Sorry,
Hardy.
what I'm saying. Harding is gone. He's bowled by Sherlin Babb
for 17.
17, and
there should be a correction here. He has 15 runs, not 17.
15?
15.
Yes, 15
yes,
runs.
15.
Well, that was a lovely ball.
Beautiful
it pitched, as I see it, just about middle and off, and came
for South Zone, and still needing another 102 runs to win this match. Only 5 wickets now left in hand. And David, right from the start, we felt that the thing that this match was likely to turn on was the bowling of the North Zone. Very strong bowling attack.
Yes, it certainly appears that way. They are going through the South Zone batting side with consummate ease, and the South Zone are having difficulty scoring even the odd run off them. There's a quick single taken, and they need to do that at frequent intervals in order to maintain the run rate that they need to get. The South Zone are batting well. They really are batting quite well, but the bowling from the North Zone is too much for them at the moment. They've got the overs left to score the runs. They're certainly not out of their gap at the moment, but they'll need to keep the run rate pushing along in order to win.
Yes, Willie, you had it.
The batsman who just went in there is that the skipper?
Yes, that's skipper Butcher.
They need a skipper's innings from Mr. Butcher.
Absolutely. I think he's probably promoted. He was originally scheduled to bat number 8. I think, promoted himself to number 7 because his team needs a skipper's innings at the moment.
They most certainly do.
And there's still some life left in this South Zone team.
Butcher went in.
With Butcher, Cummings, and English still to come. Butcher is particularly an excellent batsman, but they will need a very good innings from him.
Oh, it's not out of the reach of South Zone at all. I think they're quite capable of scoring 143 runs. They've got 41 runs at the moment, just over 100 runs needed, and it's within their capability, but they need a couple of guys to get their head down and to score these runs.
And there was a nice little tickle down the offside.
Third man, yes, it was a lovely shot.
By Osborne, and the score moves on to 43, I believe. 43. 100 runs exactly now needed, with 5 wickets in hand, and we're in the 18th over. David, I just wanted to say earlier that I think that Graham Hick will be a test player, but I think he'll be a test player for Zimbabwe.
Yes, I knew you might bring that matter out, that he originally hails from Zimbabwe. And I'm very pleased to see Zimbabwe have been given test status in that they can play international matches now, and their scores can be recorded as part of full internationals against the major teams in the program.
Absolutely, and the other good news that has come.
He didn't have to move very far. Looks like a top edge that just went up in the air, and the extra cover there just had to come a couple of yards to catch it.
And who also plays for Combined Islands, and the batsman coming into the wicket, Stephen Cummings, who has worked very hard at putting this all together, has been in touch with the Parks and Recreation Department and Jack, and he's done a great job of organizing.
Most certainly, to be congratulated. Excellent job. The field looks real pristine condition with the white lines around the outside. And I'm very pleased that a good crowd of people showed up to watch tonight's game. I'm no doubt we'll be having some more games that will be, as I think you'll enjoy the evening as much as we all here have enjoyed it.
Absolutely. What would be perfectly fitting now, David, is if Stephen Cummings should score a half century and lead the South Zone to victory.
That would be tremendous, Stephen. Well, as you know, it's been known to score 30 or more runs off one over, so add greatly to South Zone's score. However, the North Zone have got their tails up and are in excellent shape, and their confidence must be sky high. They still have a very aggressive looking field there, Steve. All the fielders are in. I don't see anybody out particularly deep looking to save the 4. They're in close for that catch and putting the pressure on South Zone to make those runs. Some good accurate bowling. I don't know whether the producer can get a close-up of the way the bowler holds the ball, but for some of our viewers who are less familiar with the game of cricket, this particular bowler, most unusual way of holding that ball as he comes in his hand, and as a result of that can put a tremendous turn on the ball as he did just then. And I think, yes, he's bowled him. He's out. A lovely ball.
A bailer. He clipped the
bails,
tops of the bails, and he's gone.
Yep, he's gone.
Ashraf continues to be very successful. He's only taken 4 wickets during the regular season, but that's in just 3 matches, of course. But he's just doing a beautiful job tonight, and there goes Stephen Cummings, who, after all his hard work in putting this match together, has alas been dismissed for a duck. And
a duck. Well, that's an interesting cricket expression, isn't it? A duck. I wonder where that one comes from. For 0 runs. Yes, exactly right.
Egg.
A duck egg. Is that where it
Yes,
came from?
yep.
But he certainly didn't get any runs. And it's a shame. He must be a bit disappointed as he makes his way back there to the.
And is it 44 now for 7? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Discussion about whether he's had. Oh, he's got him. First ball. First ball. Now
that's
has
Ashraf's 4th wicket.
That has special significance. A golden duck, it's called. Am I right there, Steve?
Absolutely. A golden duck. And the other thing that ball definitely established is, David, that you're going to be opening the innings against Quincy.
Well, I think not, Steve. I think not. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, that was a lovely ball. Lovely ball. We have a scoreboard at our ground with special significance for the duck. Have you mentioned that at all?
No, you can allow you to mention that.
Well, the scoreboard at our ground is fairly small, and we have a limited number of digits that can fit on the scoreboard. However, the Mr. Harding, who made the figures, created one particular picture of a duck, so that when somebody is out for 0, the duck goes on the scoreboard. When somebody goes out for 0, that duck goes up, and as soon as possible, that said batsman hopes the duck is removed, as the ignominy of having a duck where you should have scored a few more runs.
Well, that was just to give you the information.
He's on a
that was
hat-trick,
Lal
Steve.
Singh out for a duck, and now we have a hat-trick situation, David. Ashraf with 2 wickets and 2 balls. Now
Can he
has
make
a
it 3
chance.
and 3 balls?
If he gets English first ball, that will be the hat-trick.
Do you remember the last hat-trick you saw, Steve, anywhere? Have you seen one recently?
I've never seen one live. I remember listening to Lance Gibbs get one against Australia in 1960 on radio, but that's the last I've heard.
Here we go now.
Here we go. Oh!
He saved it.
English plays it off his foot. It's not a hat trick, but it wasn't very comfortable for English either, playing that ball off his toe.
Very fine over there. Very fine over
Excellent.
indeed.
Excellent.
Although these are the
4 of those runs came on an edge, through a thin edge over the slips.
That's correct. That's correct. It was not any real shot that got him there to 8 runs. It was just a matter of a miss. A miss.
And Bab delivers a good ball.
most
Score.
unusual to have figures of that nature for limited over cricket, where the object is to score as quickly as you can and as few balls as you can, and that is outstanding bowling.
Absolutely. 44 runs for 7 wickets. Is it 8 for 8 wickets?
8 wickets.
44 runs for 8 wickets, South Zone, and this is just a devastating piece of bowling by the North Zone bowlers. That's accomplishing this. And there you see Bab bowling with his tail up, a very good ball, Yorker length, that the batsman can just play forward at. Osborne plays forward. Osborne is still in there, but he has just 3 runs. He's been batting for quite some time, but just keeping his end up.
He seems to be swinging the bat a little more aggressively at the moment, realizing that they need the runs. And no, perhaps not there. Well, they're going to take. No, I thought they might take a quick single there, but a little bit more prudence there. No, the last first 2 balls of this over, he swung the bat quite vigorously, and I thought he was going to really try and get a few runs quickly. But he seems to have shut down the door a little bit now.
Yes, Willie.
The bowling for Ashraf, he has bowled one of the best overs for the day. He has taken 3 wickets without any runs being knocked off that particular over, his 4th over.
So a maiden 3-wicket over.
Maiden 3-wicket over.
I suspect that's one of the best overs in the league all year. Spectacular bowling in any league.
I think so. I think it's one of the best overs for the season.
Well, his native country of Pakistan can be proud of him. Of course, they have produced many great bowlers.
That's a nice shot.
Oh, there's a beautiful straight drive.
Straight drive.
By Osborne, rolling way back there. But the batsman crossed for only 1. They thought it was going to go for 4, and it wound up being only a single, which is, again, there's no excuse for that. None.
No, they should have taken at least 2 runs on that.
Absolutely.
It's a poor running between the wickets there. I think they're a little nervous, and being 8 wickets down, they can't afford to get another wicket down by a careless run out.
That's
and
true.
they've got the overs to do it, but they certainly should have taken the opportunity there to get a second run.
Right. And now, I was going to say, he's from Pakistan, and of course, Pakistan at the moment have
One very happy fielder there.
some of the greatest
Spectator.
some of the greatest bowlers in the world. The Waqar Yunus.
Waqar Yunus, very fast,
would
yes.
regard as being the greatest fast bowler, although us West Indians, David, would like to hold out for a gentleman by the name of Curtly Ambrose. But
You may hold out as long as you wish, Steve, but there's no denying the truth that Waqar Yunus is certainly the best bowler in the world at the moment, no doubt about it. He's very fast.
I have to agree, he's one of the 2 best.
4
Four
buys there.
4 buys there.
4 buys there.
And of course, they also have Wasim Akram.
Yes.
And although Imran Khan may have retired, he may not have. In which case, he's still one of the
He's
best
still very
all-rounders
good.
in
Yes,
the world.
he's very good also. Yes.
And soon we may have be saying
No,
Naveed
dead ball.
Ashraf in the same
team. Yes, that could be quite exciting, couldn't it? That could be quite exciting. Attempt there to run the bowler out, but the umpire called a dead ball, and therefore the batsman was not out. Even though he was standing outside his crease, the umpire decided it was a dead ball and he was not out.
The score moves along to 49 runs for 8 wickets on the basis of those 4 buys.
Now, where can our viewers watch this particular bowler bowl next time he shows? Where should they go to see him turn over his magic? Do you know, Steve, offhand, where they're playing next?
He plays for Quincy, and he may be playing out in the Quincy area. I don't have a schedule right in front of me. I know that they're going to be playing in West Newton against Commonwealth, your club.
That's right.
Within the next couple of weeks, I believe. Very possibly next weekend.
No, I think next weekend. We don't have a game next weekend. We have our single wicket competition next weekend. It might be the following weekend.
That may be.
I
I think on the Saturday, actually, we have a match in the knockout competition.
That's right, we do, yes, that's correct.
And there's Ashraf beating the bat again. I'm very impressed with Ashraf's performance today. And what's even more impressive to me about his performance, David, is the fact that he plays for a team which most people would consider not to be one of the strongest teams in the league by any means.
Well, cricket is one of those games where you have to have more than just one star. You can't win the game just on the back of a Roger Clements. You have to have the equivalent of 2 Roger Clements, one from each end. And although he is very good from this end, the team that he plays for, Quincy, right?
Right.
The team Quincy has to have somebody at the other end, and that's not to say that they have a bad series of bowlers. I'm sure they have quite adequate bowlers, but he is outstanding for their particular club. And well worth the afternoon spent watching him.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, there have been 2 bowlers here today that I've never seen bowl before. I've never played against them, I guess. I'll be playing against them later this year. Balgobin and Ashraf. They've both been very, very
Both been very
impressive.
good. Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Another fine over finished by Ashraf. And the score is still 49 runs for 8 wickets. Osborne is on
stumps, and other times it's a little wide of the off stump. And this all confuses, of course, the batsman, who doesn't get an opportunity to anticipate the ball. Oh, lovely ball. Middle peg.
Just spread-eagled English's wickets for a duck. And now it's 49 for 9.
Last man going in.
Last man going in, who is Austri, the fast bowler, moving out now from the fast bowler from Spartans, moving in, and at 49 for 9, it's likely that this match will soon be coming to a finish. David, thank you very much for stepping in. I'll invite Chico Khan to step back in.
Steve, thank you very much for having me.
And good luck to your team the rest of the way, David.
Particularly against Quincy. Thank you very much, Steve. Nice being here. Bye-bye now.
Okay.
Okay, Sherlin Babb has also bowled very, very well. Do you have his figures by any chance, Willie Rodriguez?
Yes, Sherlin has bowled 5 overs for 7 runs, and he has gotten 2 wickets. 3 wickets.
3
wickets.
overs, 1 maiden, 7 runs, 3
3
wickets. These 2 gentlemen have just done a superb job. There's no question about it.
Well, Steve, when you think about it, the North Zone has used only 4 bowlers, and 3 of those have been devastating.
Absolutely. Oh, and it's all over. And Babb takes the 4th wicket. Middle stump, first ball, and the match is over. And just spectacular. I can only say, ladies and gentlemen, that at the start here, Chico Khan predicted that the most important factor in this match was going to be the bowlers of the North Zone. He said that their bowling was very strong.
They bowled out for 49.
And they've demonstrated it by bowling out the South Zone for 49 runs, and due in large part to some spectacular bowling by first Lal Balgobin and then by Ashraf and Sherlin Babb.
Absolutely, Steve. I mean, we've seen some fantastic bowling here today. It's very difficult to see bowling like this under any circumstances, and have 3 good bowlers coming together all at one time and performing in unison.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chico.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most...
And there are a couple of fans waving to the cameras.
Actually, I think those are some of the BNN TV crew here.
Could be. I noticed a couple of trophies there. Are we going to have a man of the match presentation?
I think we most certainly will.
And who is going to decide who the man of the match is? Ashraf. Naveed Ashraf.
I think he certainly would be in contention. What were his final figures?
4 wickets.
4 wickets.
I think that's the man of the match performance
Absolutely.
if ever there was one.
Absolutely. So perhaps we could make the presentation. Right now, I don't know if we can get a camera. Joe, are we all done, or can we do the presentation of the man of the match? Okay. Okay. Who's going to do the presentation? In the middle of the field? Okay. Yeah, Headley would be the person to do it. Oh, best player for South. Bowler or bat or player? Well, we can't have him present it himself. Cummings. I don't know. Are we still on? I don't know.
I think we don't give him a
That has a very good bowling skill too.
Yeah, but
4 for 7.
I agree, but I think that Bab basically picked up the tail end. Yeah. Mr. Bab, 4 wickets for 7 runs.
Oh, thanks.
Outstanding. You and Ashraf just did a superb job.
Yeah.
Is he trying to say Bob, can I get the
Iona was excellent. Iona, we need to make I know. I know.
My son testing.
Okay, are we on? Good. This is Steve DeVoe again from the Mass State Cricket League at Roberts Field. Conclusion of a wonderful match, the All-Star game, first ever night game in Boston between the North Zone and the South Zone, and we have the players all lined up, the umpires, they did a great job. By the way, the comment was made more than once that the umpires did a great job in this game, and I'd like to thank them a lot. The players did a superb job too. You guys put on a night game. It's the first one ever here, and we have to make sure that it's not the last one ever. And I'd like to congratulate the North Zone on their victory, winning the match by, we won't even say how much. We had decided to have, the Mass State Cricket League had decided to have 2 Man of the Match awards, and 1 to each team. However, we have since decided that it may be necessary to have 3. First, I would like to announce the winner of the award for the South Zone. The winner of the award for the South Zone is a gentleman who bowled 8 overs, 1 maiden, 30 runs, and took 4 wickets. And his name is Grantley Hadley, and the award is going to be made by his wife, Iona Hadley.
Thank you. Grantley, this is for you, man of the match, in the wickets that you took today in the first. Grantley, this is for you.
Superb. Go ahead.
Grantley, this is for you in the first night game ever in the history of the Mass State Cricket League. Man of the match for the wickets that you took. I hope that you appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Grantley. You took 4 wickets. That's almost as many runs as you scored. And the other award, we were planning to have just 1 award, but in fact, I had suggested who it should go to, and I was getting criticism because someone said, listen, this was a job by 2 guys who just made the breakthrough in the lineup. So we've decided to give 2 bowling awards. And when you hear the bowling figures, they're so spectacular that we have to agree. The awards, Sherlin Babb, who bowled 5 overs, took 4 wickets for 7 runs, and Naveed Ashraf, who bowled 5 overs, 3 maidens, 8 runs, 4 wickets. And so we only have 1 award here at the moment. We're going to get a second one ultimately, but if the 2 of you would step forward and accept the award from Iona.
Guys, this is a joint award. A man taking, 4 wickets for 7 runs? That's just cricket. So, congratulations to both of you. I don't know which one of you are going to take it home. You'll have to join.
Thank you.
Okay? Thanks. Okay.
Congratulations and thank you, cricketers, and thank you, Boston Neighborhood Network, for putting this on. We know it's the first time. We hope it won't be the last time. And the Mass State Cricket League enjoyed bringing you this. Thanks a lot. And be sure to go out and see cricket matches at all of your neighborhood grounds in the coming weeks in August, because we're going to be playing cricket here till the end of September. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Thanks, Larry.
When they got 50 runs, who are you going to give up 94? That's unfair.